ICF has done very good work in collecting evidence on the impact of coaching. So there is hard data to say that coaching indeed works. All right. The other thing is that look at the VUCA we're experiencing. You know, you're an expert in something yesterday. Today you are rendered irrelevant. So how do you reinvent your life?
Eileen, what is VUCA? Eileen, what is VUCA?
Okay, fine. It's a terminology used to talk about the volatility of the season. So how the world is changing so fast, the volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, you know. So nobody has the full information. Nobody has all the answers. And the answers of today, tomorrow becomes relevant. And so you need to continue in the journey of evolving as a person, the journey of evolving as an organization. So that makes coaching, a very beautiful way of leading and way of unlocking these new ideas. And the innovation that organizations are looking for, they're not in one human being. Is picking pieces and specks of gems from different people and building these up, putting these into one beautiful thing that makes the whole different and transforms the people, transforms the organization. Besides VUCA, then we also, the workplaces now are, kind of filled with, from my recent quick check with leaders that I work with, organizations I work with, we are having between 60 to sometimes up to 90, depending on the industry, of them being Gen Y, millennials, and Zs. These young people, maybe you see what age does to you. Think you are very old, so these kids, But these young people have a different DNA. So the traditional command and control doesn't work. So you have to find a way of giving them a sense of belonging. You've got to find a way of having them listen to. They are so know they have had excess access. I call it excess access to information. But then how do you harness that information, that knowledge, and weave it into something beautiful that's beneficial for them? They're also big on purpose. They're big on in knowing self early and knowing what they're here for. And that can only happen if a coaching environment has been created for them. The other thing is that they belonging for them is so important. So important that if you give them a sense of they don't belong, then it's too bad. They're not going to stay. That's why we say it's a very fluid talent. But if you know how to tap from them, give them, belonging, tap into their, genius and wisdom, then you have them to stay. It's a way of keeping this generation engaged and high perform. They'll surprise you at the kind of innovations they can give you. The leadership posture then has had to change from command and control to what I call human-centered, heart-centered.
Yeah. Okay,
I can continue. So I've talked about the evidence. I've spoken about VUCA. I've spoken about the DNA of Gen Y and the younger ones. Then the leadership posture that's going to take us to the next level. I call it the leadership posture of the 21st century. Then we have seen also people looking for flexibility, and coaching as a career or as a profession gives us that flexibility. As I shared earlier, people can work and coach internally and externally. So there's that whole, opportunity and flexibility. And finally I would say it's also very contagious. Coaching is actually highly contagious. So if I look at the demand of coaching I had way back, 15 years back, people are like, what is that? But now, because as George said, once one gets coached, they can't stop talking about it. All right. And people want what you have. I can't explain how many times clients have come to me and said, the thing you gave so-and-so is the thing that I'm looking for. They don't know what it is, but they don't even understand coaching, but I have seen this person transform right in front of my eyes. And so and they say, it is you. What have you given them? And even taking them to the assessment is a challenge, because they're like, no, you don't even have to assess me. Just the same thing that you gave them, but obviously you have to do the assessment as coaches. So I think all those are like global factors that are also driving this surge of coaching.